I saw an art YouTuber talking about cringe, and she expressed that she'd let herself self-censor in a way after the community around her decided that certain traits or certain ways of doing her art was cringe. And performance art is a large part of hypnosis, and so this resonated with me quite a lot. I want to be cringe sometimes. I want to perform this mind-bending, seductive demoness, as cringe as it may be, because it is fun and interesting to me. Community consensus can be a powerful force. It both inspires and tells us to conform. On the internet, there's a very large drive to be performative. And that combination with hypnosis being performance art can sometimes lead to toxic shortcuts where people lose track of what's real. Some people go way too far into the unreality and do unhealthy, toxic things. That's kind of part of why I felt that it became cringe for me to embody the whole demoness thing, because people use that trait to do toxic things. Another such toxic shortcut is to tear people down and to make, yourself look better in that way. And in turn, that actually shapes the community consensus in a way, and it creates, what's bad or what's considered cringe. And I think it's really important to be allowed to be cringe, to push against the community consensus and enjoy things that you enjoy, as long as it doesn't harm anyone and stays healthy. But some people might have forgotten what healthy feels like, and so it's a little bit of a nuanced line to go along there. If you like to do hypnosis the way that someone else says is wrong or implies it's cringe or bad, then, have a little think about what you do and how you get joy out of it and how effective it is for you and your friends. Because perhaps you don't need to change anything. But that's not saying you should ignore advice or people telling you things. But it's okay to do things your way. It's okay to mix fantasy, psychology, rhetoric, and Pokemon traits into your hypnosis if you enjoy that. It's also okay to enjoy standardized inductions and academic papers to do your hypnosis, as long as the outcome is that you have fun and that your friends and you enjoy it. When you do that, please don't call other things wrong or create the us versus them dynamics that just fuel this ignorant toxicity. Because we are doing part performance art and we have to be allowed to be a little cringe, do things that otherwise are strange. A slightly related story is that people have a tendency to overreact along the lines of their original standpoint or opinion. I remember in one of my early videos talking about direct versus indirect suggestion and permissive versus authoritative suggestion. And people were super upset when I said that the safest way to succeed with someone new is to use indirect suggestion instead of direct suggestion and to be permissive rather than authoritative. And people were saying, that's boring. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. If you find that boring and it works for you, keep doing what you're doing. That's okay. I'm just generalizing. And I think this exchange just made me reflect a little bit more on how important it is to leave room for things to be different than what you think. And in turn, leaving some space for being cringe, being a seductive demoness once upon a time. That's not to say that it's not a little bit exhausting being in a creative community sometimes, especially the online hypnosis community. Because it is influenced by pride, it is influenced by this performative need for validation and to be seen as the best. And the play itself is dissociative by nature, and so it's sometimes easy to slip into some unreality and not really come back or see that something that you're doing is unhealthy in the long run. But what I wanted to say with all of this is take a deep breath. Don't assume people are trying to tear you down, but resist that rigidity. And go be cringe if you enjoy being cringe, because that's what I will do. I am going to enjoy performing my mind-bending demoness. At least sometimes, when it's healthy. Oh, you're still here listening to the ambience. Little thoughts just stuck in your head about something. Well, don't stay for too long. 'Cause who knows what'll happen to your sweet little mind in that case.